It doesn't matter whether it's a negative expected value bet. That's the nature of gambling. If you enjoy the activity or enjoy the social aspect of it or enjoy watching the roaches crawl across the floor in the Savannah casino, those are all benefits that consumers maybe get. Now, of course, other producers who might have to compete, so the tourism industry or the hotel or restaurant industry in Charleston may not like this because they may see it as it's going to compete for tourist dollars. So you can expect that some sellers might not like a casino coming. On the other hand, some people may think, well, it's going to draw in tourists that might not have come here, who might have gone to Savannah instead. I think that number is going to be relatively small. So in my view, having done no empirical work to back this up, I would argue that there's not going to be a big effect one way or the other. There's not likely to be an employment effect. They say they'll hire 100 employees, but I would be very surprised if the boat is actually at capacity when they need that many employees. When I went to the Savannah riverboat, it was midday. More than half of the tables were closed because there weren't enough customers. There were maybe 50 customers there. So there was maybe 20 employees on the boat. That's not a big employment effect. I doubt it would generate much tourism. I can't imagine people who wouldn't otherwise come to Charleston would come here just because we now have a casino boat, but some people may. I think the biggest government benefit would be the taxes and fees that they could raise, but from what I've seen, and I haven't talked to, I've exchanged emails with one of the city council members who was opposed to the casino, but I haven't heard anything that convinces me that they have any real idea what they're doing in terms of maximizing the revenues they're likely to get. They've come up with some number of, I think it's $750,000 a year that they expect to gain from it. I have no idea where they came up with that. And I emailed this reporter, Skylar, whatever, said, why don't you ask where they're getting these numbers? And he told me, well, eventually we will, but I've never seen a report where a reporter actually asked, how did you come up with this estimate? But I'm not convinced they've put much thought in. But if they did it right, if they did set the tax rates right and set the operating fees in a kind of scientific way, I think they could bring in some revenue for the city. But I'm not convinced they're going to do that. And I don't think they've announced yet what they're planning to do. So, in summary, overall the answer is, well, it's hard to say. It's definitely good for consumers. So if you're a real libertarian who says, well, consumers should be allowed to do what they want to do as long as they don't harm other people, then why not allow casinos? You might actually get some tax revenues from it, which could help keep your sales taxes a little bit lower than they might otherwise be, or that might take some fiscal pressure off of state or local government. But I would argue the industry should not be considered to be any different from any other type of entertainment industry. But it is because I think there's a religious bias against it, or for whatever reason people think gambling is immoral. I think at the state level, if it's a well-developed industry, it can have a positive effect on economic growth. Again, one little riverboat, Charleston, I can't imagine would have too much of an impact. But if you read the news and follow this stuff, there's more and more states that are considering casinos, again, because I think they don't want to raise taxes and they don't want to cut spending. This appears to be, at least in the short term, an easy way to increase revenues. This last thing, if you're interested in industry propaganda, the American Gaming Association has a really nice brochure. This is a hard copy, but you can get the same thing online, where it goes through state by state and gives you the casino revenues, how much in taxes they paid, how many employees they have at the state level, and it kind of it gives you a good overview of the commercial casino industry. And of course, they argue that the benefits are all the jobs we create, all the taxes we paid, which isn't a true reflection. That's overstating the benefits, because clearly some of this revenue comes at the expense of other industries. But the consumers are better off. So anyway, that's it.